Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday, and that means it's Shades of Bravo, where we're just gonna talk about Bravo. I've got my friend here, guys. It's Amy Phillips from Drama Darling.
Hi, hi.
And hi,
Hi, hi, hi, hi, hi.
I'm so excited to talk to you about
Oh my God, I miss you.
Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip, and of course, RHOSLC.
Mm.
Episode 1 of 3 of the reunion.
Whoa, what a time to be alive and on your podcast.
I mean, the people that are on the next 3 weeks are I'm hashtag blessed to have them, so I can have someone to
Wow.
discuss with. Yeah, yesterday I said to my daughter, "Aren't you going to come in and watch this with me?" And she's like,
hmm
maybe later. I was like, "You're going to miss it!" I'm like screaming, like it's like
Has she been watching the whole season with you?
she's in and out, but because of
Okay.
course she's 20 and she's on the TikTok, so she's constantly sending me TikToks
Right.
about Salt Lake City, and I'm like, "I'm
Did you
watching
see the
it."
finale yet?
Yeah, I don't need you to send me the TikToks about what happened because I was watching it.
Right, you were
Um,
there. It's amazing to me that we can piecemeal like all these videos on TikTok. It would take up probably more time to do that than to actually just sit there and watch it.
I know. Well, for me, it would take me hours. Every time I come up with a great idea, I'm like, "Oh my god, who has the time? Who has the time
We
to just go to
don't.
these
Well, believe
TikToks?"
me. Yeah, well.
Do you have pink in your hair, or is that a reflection from your cute sign behind
It's
you?
a reflection, yeah.
I like it though because it makes it look like you're a little edgy with the pink stripe in your hair.
Oh my god, I did do my hair pink during COVID, of course,
Yeah, because why
during the
not?
lockdown. Yeah, and I loved it.
Yeah. I've never done my hair anything other than this color that comes out at the root of my head. I have never done
Is that
anything.
your root color?
It is. This is my hair color.
Wow, it's so pretty. You don't pay for that? You lucky bitch.
Listen, I pay for a lot of work on my face. So, listen, like I said, like I've got 2 things going for me. I've still got a decent color hair at my age, and also, the boobs are still pretty good. So that's it.
Nice.
That's all I got.
There you go.
That's
No,
it.
those are 2 very good things.
The ass is flat. Everything else is fallen to shit. Welcome to being in your 50s.
Mhm.
I do want to
I'm
do.
gonna be 50 next month.
You are?
Mhm.
I cannot believe that. You do, in fact, look 35.
What?
That's
Okay,
true.
well,
That's true.
just good lighting in here, but, yeah, I know, I'm really excited. I feel ready, and
Mhm.
I'm proud, yeah.
I was not upset when I turned 50. I think that, like, when I turned 39, I was 29, 39, and 49. For some reason, that 9 really got me.
Yeah, yeah, you went through it early.
Yeah, but for the 50,
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was like, "Look at me. I can kick. I can
Mhm.
stretch. I'm 50." Really, I did. I was like, and when you think about that Molly Shannon that she did, and it
Yeah.
was a kind of a play on her dad. Her dad would always be like, "Look at me, I'm 50," and it was an ode to him. And you think
Mhm.
about Molly Shannon, who's around my age in her mid-50s. I think that's hilarious to think about now. She did this whole thing about like, "I'm 50," and she was doing it, and she was probably like 30. She's like, "I can't imagine I would ever
Yes.
actually be 50."
I
You know?
know, isn't that amazing? And when you're 30, you're looking at 50 like it's so
Yeah.
old, you know?
Don't you think too about people that are in their 50s or they're 50 and they date somebody that's 25 or 30? Can you imagine dating a man that was like 25 or 30? It wouldn't make any
No.
sense
No, because you wouldn't have anything in
in
common.
common, right? Like,
I mean, as much as I'd like to say I'm young at heart, no, I would not. I just don't think I could vibe like that.
I don't either. And I have a new weekend co host. Her name is Meredith Constant. She's great. Speaking of TikTok, she's a famous TikToker. She talks about the Royals, but she used to have a
Oh.
reality podcast, and she's wonderful. And
Oh.
she's been on the podcast before, and everybody loved her. She's taken over for my old weekend co-host, Amy, and it was just wonderful. She's wonderful. And she literally said to me, I mean, you're old enough to be my sister, I guess, but more like, I mean, you could be like, if you were like a teen mom. I was like, I will kill you and you're fired. Like, you're fired before you even started. How fucking dare you?
Don't ever lesson to us. Don't ever put us in a situation where we're talking to a youngster
Yeah.
and asking them and trying to figure out the difference between us and them. Let's not do that
Yeah.
in 2024.
When she told me she was 36, I was like, well, and then I was like, let's talk about like some of your favorite bands. Like I played a get to know you game so all the listeners could get to know her. And she was like, well, I like Boy Genius and like Haim. And I was like, of course you do. Of course you do.
Well,
She's
Kyle
great.
Richards loves Haim, and Kyle Richards always has. She's like, Haim was over my house. We were like eating at my dinner table. Remember when Haim was over?
Yeah, that should have been an indication that that's not right. Those ladies are too young to be friends with Kyle Richards.
I don't know. I don't know if they were there for Kyle or her daughters.
That's true.
Probably her daughters, but
that's probably true. Well, that's cool for them. Let's get into these shows because we've got a lot to talk about. Now,
yes.
Ultimate Girls Trip. I know over on Drama Darling, you've been covering it.
Yes.
We got our last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the whole thing was a breath of fresh air. It was what we needed. We deserved it. We needed it. Mm-hmm. It was a warm bath. It was it was everything we needed. Didn't you just feel the loving arms of those ladies?
I felt legacy arms around me at all times, And then even with Kelly's crazy cuckoo bananas performance or reveal, if you will, I still really loved everything. Walked away with a lot of answers. One, no one has changed, right? Which I love, and we don't want them to. Two, Kelly didn't like lose her mind or have a nervous breakdown or whatever on Scary Island. That was just who she is. And that's who she will always continue to be because she's Scary Island all over the place yet again at St. Bart's here.
Yeah, you're right.
On Ultimate Girls Trip. So, and I, that was very rough to embrace. I kind of wanted to see her redemption of like, I had a moment in like on Scary Island, but that was then, this is now, and that's not who I am.
Right.
And we'd see a different side, but she's totally that person who's just going to talk nonsense.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. And so that was a real eye opener.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I will say the only person that I felt showed us a little bit of change was Dorinda in the sense that she did not curse anybody out or do the hand over, she didn't do that. She didn't do that the whole trip.
She came close at the very beginning with Kristen where she's like, you made a move for me. You tried for me. You can't come for me. And I was like, oh, but this is the Dorinda that, we kind of love. And, but yeah, she actually let that go with Kristen. She didn't hold on to it, which was surprising. So I think you have a point there with a little growth and the pause situation right out of the gates. I thought, I saw where Kristen was coming from. It's like, well, let's not go back there because you already played this storyline out in the other Ultimate Girls Trip with Jill. Like we already saw you.
She constantly is talking about. Remember when she went to the first the BravoCon, not the one that we just went to, the one before. She like went up to the mic during a panel and was like, "When's Dorinda going to be put off pause?"
Yeah. Yes.
Like, girl, we get it. You want to be on TV. We get it,
I mean, I understand it's part of her story and she was told that by Andy, but I think because she's already been on an Ultimate Girls Trip and talked about that, there was no reason for her to even bring that up again.
Yeah.
And so she kind of had it coming to her. She kind of had it coming.
But it wasn't Kristen like, look, we were both fired, so whatever. She's like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
No, hold on. But what I thought was so interesting, I heard Kristen Takeman today, Wednesdays, when we're recording this, on Jeff Lewis's show this morning. I just love Kristen Takeman. I just do. I just love her. I can't help myself.
She's great.
I feel like
she's so lovely.
She would just be like a friend. She seems pretty normal.
Yes, normal.
Yeah. And she's kind of like looking around like, why am I here? And she did say on the show she was trying to explain about Kelly's gift bag. She was like, I asked around and I'd seen the shows and I asked people that I knew that had been on it. And they're like, everybody brings a gift. Just like it, like if you and I went on a girls trip, I'd bring you a little gift. You'd bring me a little gift. That's what you do.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she's like, so I that morning came down with my little bags I was going to give people that had like my sunscreen. She goes, I literally handed it to Martin and was like, okay, let's do this later. Because Kelly had made a mountain of things on everybody's spot and nobody was here for it. Everybody was mad. She said,
Mhm.
she said to Jeff, it's like if you and I were sitting across this table talking to each other, but I couldn't see you for the mound of products between us. She said it was like kitchen cleanser. It was deodorant. It was toothpaste. It was toenail clippers. She goes, all these things, I've got kitchen cleanser at my house and I came on a vacation, so I have deodorant. She was like, she obviously went to everybody she knew that had any connection to a product and got them to donate and thought this was going to be the opportunity. She said it was weird. And Jeff was like, or Shane or somebody was like, oh yeah. And like Luann and then we're not here for it. She was like, no, Luann and Ramona and then we're pissed. They were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like we're
Right.
trying to have breakfast. Like what's
Yeah.
happening?
Well, the irony about that to me was like when at the original Scary Island, Bethany gifted them
Mm-hmm.
all the skinny girl bags,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
With all of her shit in it. And Kelly was so mad about that. She's like, who is this girl that's giving me all these things? Who is this girl with these bags? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's you, babe. That's you 20 years later.
Yeah.
Giving everyone a bunch of shit that they don't want
Yeah.
at the wrong time in the wrong place. So the fact that she didn't connect that or no one really connected that on the show kind of annoyed me because Luann was there for it for
Mm-hmm.
Scary Island, same
Mm-hmm.
with Ramona and Sonia, and they had to have seen Kelly ripping Bethany to shreds in her confessional about those bags.
And crying about it. Crying about the bags.
Yes.
Crying. Yeah, she's definitely got a
weird.
screw loose. She's got a screw loose.
Yeah.
So then we have Kelly, then we have Kristen. Now, Ramona, thank the Lord, what we found out is she also has not changed one bit.
Not one bit.
And that's what
No.
we need from her.
Agree.
Listen,
Yeah.
we here at Pink Shade and Drama Darling, I'll speak for you. We don't
Okay.
condone Ramona's behavior
No,
or
God, no.
her racist words. We don't.
No,
We don't condone
God,
any
no.
of it. But
No, never.
we do like it when she berates someone who works for her because it's just so crazy that she is so entitled. And when
Yeah.
she's
We want to see the ugly. When we want to see the ugly, we want to see how these entitled people act.
when she started getting mad at Martin and is like, don't come in here right now. Like I told you, she's so rude to him. And then she got mad
Yeah.
at Sonia because Sonia did not know where Ramona's shoes were. She's yelling at Sonia, like, where are my
right.
shoes? And Sonia's like, I don't know. She's like, well, my silver ones, they have to be in here. They have to be in here. Sonia's like, I'm trying to get this outfit on.
And why is she the only one packing? Like, everyone's not packing yet, but Ramona somehow is like, I need my underwear, I need my bantu white bathing suit, I need my silver shoes. Okay, can't find any of it. And like, she's practically crying. She's holding Martin. She walks into the abyss, which is she crosses over to the other side,
Yeah.
which is the production room, which
Yeah.
feels like a cartoon character or out of a game jumping out and being in your room. You're like, this is wrong. This feels wrong. This should not be happening.
And all the people that were like looking at the camera, like, oh my God, what's she doing in here? We don't want to see her in person.
No, we don't want to see this monster.
And did you notice how she kept trying to check herself? She would be like, listen. And then she would realize, she was like, listen, I love you so much. And you're so attractive. You're so handsome. But we've got to go to that laundry room. And they go to the laundry room and she would start stroking his face. He's like, find my fucking bathing suit. Okay.
I know.
Like she was trying so hard to keep it together.
But she was trying. She was trying so hard. Because she's aware now, it's probably a good thing that she's not on television. Obviously everyone would probably agree all the time because she couldn't curb everything.
No.
And it's going to come out. It's going to come out. When you're that person, you can't hold back.
No.
And she's that person.
She just is that person. Then we have Luann, and I have no notes for Luann. She looks incredible. She, for some reason, we just glazed over the fact that her last season on RHONY, she admitted she's an alcoholic and can never drink again. She's easy breezy drinking her wine on the Ultimate Girls Trip because it's on vacation, so it doesn't count.
Well, yes, and she was on the other Ultimate Girls Trip, right? She was on the first one, correct?
The very that one has left me because it was so
know.
compared to Bluestone Manor. It's just
I just trying to remember if she was drinking on that or not. If she did, like,
she
tell
was
us, like,
not.
oh, she wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
She was sober. Remember, she had her frosé or fosé or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bringing that with her everywhere she went. So I have no notes. Her, banging that guy at the end, and you knew it was going to be him. I didn't even need the video footage to see that naked guy walking around. I was like, of course it's the guy from the kitchen.
Monroe,
whatever his name was. Yeah. Good for her. Good for her. Listen.
I'm curious, and I don't typically peel back the curtain on this, but I mean, was that real or not? Like, did they just set that up?
No.
It was.
No, that was real. Do you think that guy would be walking around? He walked out of her room. So Kristen explained.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Kristen would do it for money.
Oh, Kristen explained that she said that she staked out her room before she even got there. Like, she staked out the house to figure out, and she saw all the pictures. You go online, it's everything. She was like, I knew I didn't want to be up in that house because the stairs, everything was so crazy. She was like, I knew that when we would leave, we would be leaving from the bottom, so she wouldn't have to fully get ready, do all the stairs. So Kristen said those 2 cabanas at the bottom, you would think nobody would want it because they wouldn't be with the girls in the house. For Kristen's, I was like the opposite. I was like, I want to be down there by myself and not have to do those stairs all the time. So she and Luann had these separate casitas. So that's why the guy was like walking out. He was walking out butt naked to like get cigarettes off the table, and he just naked as a jaybird, just walking right on. And you hear, "Come on, darling, smoke after our sex."
Her voice was amazing. Like, every morning she's like, oh my gosh, darlings, we've got to go surfing. It was so low in the morning. I loved it.
What did you think about the water treatment thing where they swish you around? I've seen this before, that you could do this at like Miraval and stuff. They do it for you like in a swimming pool.
Looks really relaxing.
I just think I would be so uncomfortable, self-conscious of this like stranger whisking me around in the ocean.
I agree. I think that would be weird to have someone like holding you like a mother holds its baby.
Yeah, a total stranger. Yeah. But it was interesting too that Kelly had a sexual experience, and everybody else was like, "No." It was like, "I was in the womb," and I was like, and then Sonia was like, "Oh my God, it was horrible, not relaxing." Sonia,
you know what we were talking about on my show is that Sonia, she is really into that kind of thing, but she couldn't and wouldn't go there because the second she would, I think that everything would fall to pieces for her.
I think she couldn't do that in public. I think she could do those things, but she doesn't want to do it on television.
And really, she is, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this, because like her family isn't, like her mom's farm or something is in Virginia, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's outside of Charlottesville, I think.
Okay. So, she still is really, climbing up a mountain, if you will, with life. I mean, she just still doesn't have it easy. She's renting out that townhouse. And when she does get a renter, she's got to go find a place to live, which is why she's talking about, when I'm off, off a show, I'm off the radar. I am off the map. You won't find me. I'm off the grid. And it's, I think, partially because she's so overwhelmed in life. Like she said, she has to find a place to sleep.
Yeah.
She has to move around because the house situation, she has so many moving parts. And it really makes me feel, obviously, we all feel concerned about Sonia. We want her to have a big win. But like that water therapy to me was her saying, I can't, if I get comfortable, like I have my guard up to do this show because I'm going to be the quirky, funny Sonia, the character that I play, the character I just played on Crappy Lake, all the times on New York, like I'm back to do that. I am working, working, working. This is not time to get serious and go inward because what's inward is too much right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that,
what do you think?
I've heard Josh Flagg say, and I've heard Carson Kressley say, just like as guests on shows, I've heard both of them say, like, oh yeah, Sonia was at my house for 2 weeks. And I mean, like, I think that if you're friends with her and you have a spare bedroom, she's a coming.
Yeah, she's coming.
But here's the thing. When you live like that, my concern is like, how do you get your clothes? Like, you can't carry around every piece of clothing, somebody like that, that you own. Like, how do you live like that? Do you send an assistant to the townhouse to get some stuff out of the basement next to the cans of Wesson oil and then ship it to you? Like,
I know.
It's rough. It's rough, I think.
It is. Yeah, because you're constantly having to move out for a temporary amount of time, which is why she was at Dorinda's in the city, remember?
Yeah. And I think that, and I think she's also gone and stayed at Bluestone Manor. And I think that that's hard. And I think that Luann nailed it when she said, Sonia's got this albatross around her neck and it's that townhouse.
Yeah.
But it's also her only asset. So she's probably been, because she's put it on the market and taken off, she's probably been advised, you need to wait for the market to go back up to try to sell it. And she's probably got a price in her mind that if she doesn't sell it for that, it's not going to be worth it because then she's got nothing.
Yeah. I know. And remember that one time, though, that she had the apartment? She did buy, or at least she was renting.
Yeah,
this whole other apartment.
I think people said that was her daughter's apartment that she was like living in with her daughter, but it probably paid for by the dad, if I had to imagine.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Yeah. Somebody said that was her daughter's. But like, so like.
It just went away though, like.
Well, right. Because I think
weird.
I think the daughter doesn't like live there anymore or what. It's all questionable, and we want the best for Sonia. We want her. When she got that Century 21 line, I was so excited. Producer Ingrid bought a couple of things. That was such a big win for her. And then Century 21 closed.
I know.
I was like, oh, she can't catch a break.
I know.
By the way, I would still buy that toaster oven.
I would too. Everyone would.
And give me that recipe book of the things that you make in your toaster oven. I would buy it. I would buy it next week. Why can't she get it together? She should ask Louie and Joe Gorga about their pizza oven business, and maybe they have a hookup.
That's not a bad idea. Oh Lord, don't do business with the Gorgas. Sonia, if you're listening, that's the last thing you need.
What about the Nigerian football team? So, all right. Ultimate Girls Trip Legacy. I could do one once a year. I think once a year we deserve this.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Just have the same cast come back.
I mean,
I don't know if I could do Kelly again. No, I can't do Kelly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, rotate it out.
Yeah, rotate out the Kellys and Kristens.
Give me a Jill Zarin. Give me the lady that did the bikini waxes. Give me that other lady with the eating disorder. Give me
Art shop.
Yeah, yeah. Give me her. Give me roll in some randoms. I'd love it. And then maybe put in like a sigh in there. Put in an uba.
Oh, that's interesting.
Really see some sparks fly.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Listen, I'm full of them.
I know. I like it.
TM.
Because then that would be like, if you do two of the new New York girls with the old ones, would be so contentious. Is that the right word?
Contentious. Yeah. Yes.
Contentious. Thanks.
Ramona would be like, well, I'm not going. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be great.
Yeah.
Because then it would be battling over the actual city and the show. And I think that has a lot of legs.
I do too.
I feel really good about the work that you have done today, and I've co-signed.
Yeah. So we're done. So that's the end of the show. No. All right. Now we got to talk about Salt Lake City because
Okay. Wow.
I did love this morning on Radio Andy. Andy was talking about it, and they were talking about the set. And Andy goes, I'm going to say so-and-so does our sets. And normally they're great. I love them. He goes, this one, I don't know. And they were talking,
Oh
like
my
he
God.
basically was like, this was like an acid trip. It made no sense. It was frozen Bermuda. It was just too many themes crossing over.
And I think now that because it's so chaotic and doesn't make sense and so weird, it's now going to be one we always remember.
Yeah.
So,
And also the outfits. Okay. Normally
ugh.
they're given a theme. They're always given a theme. Like it's going to be the theme is gold and silver, or the theme is, shades of red or something. And
Mhm.
they always decide looks like, where are these girls going? They're not all going to the same party. They looked
No.
so disjointed. Whitney looked like she got out of bed and put on something from the floor. She did not look, her hair was severe. It looked dirty.
Ooh, that was so rough.
It was just like, she's so beautiful,
Skipper Barbie.
but it didn't look good at all, which is so weird because Whitney normally pretty much
I
nails
know.
it.
Yeah, and the fake tan, that spray tan was out of control.
All
The
of them.
lighting people couldn't keep up with it. They were like, "We don't even know what to do with Whitney here." The gaffer's like, "I quit." They can't
Everybody had
they
a bad
couldn't
spray tan.
yeah. Bright yellow.
It was,
Ugh.
and,
Yeah.
and then I have to say something else about Whitney that is interesting. She seems to have let her lip fillers dissolve.
I noticed that too, and I wasn't sure if it was all the spray tan.
Okay.
And then you couldn't see the liner on her lips, but it did look like her lips were smaller.
Yeah, and they
Yes.
look like probably what is the regular size of her lips without filler,
Yes.
which God
Thank
bless.
you.
I'm trying to go get some lip filler in March. Like I'm not against it. If
Mhm.
I have to I have to think about it for months. I have to get up my strength and my courage and my
Well, you
somebody.
could go to the beauty lab and laser and get the mini, lip plump. Yeah, mini lip plump. That's what they're known for.
I know, but it still hurts. It's not worth
Oh,
buying.
okay.
Just it's going to hurt if I do it in
Oh,
DC
I
or Salt Lake
see.
City. It's painful.
You're not worried about the way it looks. You're worried about how much it hurts.
No, I like the way it looks, but
Got it.
I've had it done before, and I
Mm.
like it, but it hurts. Really hurts. So, okay, so that was interesting about Whitney.
Yeah.
My other note is, my note was, if Whitney would have worn the whole look that she wore to Meredith's jewelry party, like that
Mhm.
was a stunning look.
Mm.
Okay, that was my thing. Okay. Also,
I can't remember what she wore to that jewelry party,
she had
so
on
but I'm gonna take your
like a
word for it.
black dress, and it sort of covered everything except for like kind of like under the armpit. You could see, part of her big tattoo that comes up,
Mm,
and it was just sort
mhm.
of plain. It was black. It looked great. Okay.
Simple. Got it.
Lisa
Elegant.
Bartle, Lisa Bartlow's spray tan.
Oh god.
It's aggressive. It's on brand, but it is like on the palms. Like you're rich enough to get a spray tan that doesn't go on your palms. Like even I know you put the
I
Vaseline on the
know.
palms.
Why does she keep doing
I
this?
don't
I mean, I
know.
know she's busy, but why don't you get it done professionally? Yeah, I don't get it. And everybody, yeah, when you get the spray tan in the salon or whatever, they have you put like a powder or a lotion on your hands
Yes.
and on your elbows and your knees, and then they put powder over. It's a whole thing.
They check to make sure that won't happen.
Yes.
But Lisa Barlow, every time. Every time. So I say Monica, Meredith, and Angie have the best or the most natural looking spray tans, and Whitney, Lisa, and a little bit of Heather looked orange.
And Angie too.
Angie wasn't as
She wasn't as bad.
egregious. Yeah.
No, she wasn't bad.
You guys know I love high-end luxury goods as much as the next person, but unfortunately, my wallet isn't always on the same page. That was until I found Quince. Quince is my go-to place for luxury essentials at prices that are within reach. I've told you guys about Quince, and I'm going to keep telling you about Quince. They create the timeless classics that never go out of style. You can create a capsule wardrobe in your closet, right? Where you just have the basics that always look good because they're always timeless. Don't you have somebody whose style that you look at them and you go, every time they always look on point? It's because they have these capsule wardrobes with these pieces that just go with everything. And the best part about Quince is all the items are priced 50 to 80% below similar brands. I've told you, when you go on there and you look at the Mongolian cashmere sweater or you look at a leather handbag, look at the little chart that they have that tells you the exact same item sold elsewhere and the price difference. It'll blow your mind. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. And of course, I love that. Let me tell you what, if I wouldn't have had those Quince socks on my trip to Europe, and I'm not even kidding you, they are the best socks I've ever owned in my life. I also took 2 Mongolian cashmere sweaters with me. They were so cute and so versatile. One had a hood and one was more like a cardigan. I also took a pair of black ponte pants. I think that's how you say it. These just really nice black pants. And I wore them in 12 days. I think I wore them 6 or 7 times because they look perfect with no matter what you put them on with. And I got a little pair of black flat tennis shoes that also did the trick. I looked great. I looked like maybe I belonged in Paris or London and not like a tourist. Anyway, you guys have got to check out Quince, and then I want you to let me know what you got. I love when people send me the pictures of what they got, like especially if they're your kids or if you got a cute handbag, just let me know. So get affordable luxury with Quince. Go to quince.com/pinkshade for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/pinkshade to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pinkshade. So, I loved how Lisa Barlow was talking about her rings, and she's like, listen, I'm not trying to be fancy like I'm the 1%. And Monica goes, yeah, I know you're not. You're not like Shaquille O'Neal, okay? And then I heard the Smith sisters this morning on Radio Andy saying they didn't like that. They thought that that was unconscious bias for her to say Shaquille O'Neal, because then Heather was like, okay, I would have thought Jeff Bezos, but Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal, if you look him up, he's worth billions of dollars. He's invested in every major company you can ever think of. So don't sleep on Shaquille O'Neal. I think he is in the 1%.
What did they mean by unconscious bias against Shaquille O'Neal?
Yes, because like Heather was going, I wouldn't have thought Shaquille O'Neal. They were like,
Oh,
okay.
Heather was being
making the
unconsciously biased.
Yeah, Heather was.
Oh, got it. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought they meant Monica, and I was like, "Oh, I don't understand," but I get it
No.
now.
Monica was
Yeah,
saying, yeah, but Heather's like,
got it,
you
Heather.
wouldn't put Shaquille O'Neal on my financial radar. I was like, don't sleep on
Mhm.
Shaquille O'Neal. I think he's richer than you think.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm,
then we talk
mhm.
about Monica stealing the ring or not stealing the ring. And I say, won't it be amazing if 3 years from now we find out she did steal the ring? Because she's real
Do you
adamant
think
that
she
she
did?
didn't. I think that if it was on the floor and she saw it, she might not have returned it. But I don't think she would be a way to purposely steal it. But no, I don't think
Yeah,
she.
I don't think so either, but, like, again, after this reunion, I mean, she had every way to, like, prove herself not a liar by coming to this reunion and just being pretty transparent, but to be caught in huge lies in the middle of the reunion with, like, receipts typed out,
Mhm.
audio clips,
Mhm.
what I was like, "Babe, you're a mess.
Yeah.
You are such a lying troll. I can't handle this." Like, you and I would love to be able to say, okay, you know, you realize I know that you're busted.
Mhm.
And now you're gonna from here on out, you're an open book. No, no, I don't know which way she's going or coming. Entertaining, absolutely though.
Yeah.
Absolutely entertaining.
I think there's 2 sides, and I was talking to Keisha earlier today. I think there's 2 sides. Keisha thinks she is, like, eating it up. She's serving these women. She's giving them what they
Mhm,
deserve. She's got the one-liners. And I was like, I understand all that, but she shouldn't be allowed to come back. I was like, then again, I also thought that about Jen
mhm,
Shaw. She's literally going to federal prison, but you're still gonna let her be on the show for defrauding old people? So
mhm,
the radar, the bar there rather is low. So if they let Jen Shaw come
mhm.
back, of course they're going to let Monica come back. She's just going to have to find somebody that'd be willing to film with her that's not Mary, you know?
Right. And I heard that that the people following Monica now
Mhm.
again are Whitney, Meredith, and Angie.
Mm, maybe
I don't
they're.
know if that's 100% true, but I could see Angie leaning into Monica, just because Andy doesn't really have too much to go on the show. So it would be a smart move for her to have some allyship with Monica.
But in real life, she's good friends with Heather. Angie is. They were together in the airport when we saw them in Salt Lake City and kind of like hung out with them in the airport. The three of them together. It was Angie and Heather and Angie's husband.
Wait, who's we that you saw them?
It was me and Ingrid and Mandy Slutzker, the podcaster, was with us as well. And this is a story I've already told, but I'll tell you. We were in the TSA pre-check line, right, to go through security. And Heather and Angie and her husband were right in front of us. And then Ingrid goes, oh, they have a clear line, so see you later. So she ditched to go to the clear line because, I mean, she's fancy and she's got clear and TSA pre-check. And that clear line was really short. So she left to go to the clear line. I'm still standing there with Mandy Slutzker. And then Heather and Angie left the line and Angie K's husband. And then Heather came right back because I think that she thought, oh, I'll just go with them. They have clear. And then they were like, no, you don't, lady.
Oh, you can't. Oh, so Heather, well, now we know. So Heather doesn't have clear.
So she came right back to the line and to the person that was like 3 in front of me. She was like, I'm sorry. Can I get back in my spot? Because I couldn't, whatever. So they were like, yeah, no problem. No problem. So then when she got through the check line, Angie K and her husband were already gone because there's like a tram in that airport you have to take to your gate.
Oh, they left her there.
So she's standing there looking around all by herself. And so, of course, what am I going to do? I go like, hey, Heather, I met you a couple of days ago. I'm the one that gave you the fan and the poker chip. She's like, oh my God, yes, girl. So we ended up chatting. Mandy Slitzer comes up. We're all chatting. Then we get on the tram together. She's like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. My people left me. So we help her. We're like, get on this tram with us. So we get on the tram. She and Mandy Slutzker talk about how she did her book reading at 6th and I, which is a synagogue here. And we talked about that. We talked some more. And then she ended up catching up on the other side of the tram with Angie K and her husband. And we all stood there and talked. Angie K's husband pulled our poker chip out of his pocket, was like, I was looking at it this morning saying what a great idea this was, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God. Ingrid must have lost her mind.
Ingrid had left me at that point, you remember, and she was nowhere to be found. So,
that's right. Okay.
So then I am just walking, and Heather and Angie K and her husband ditched to go to the American Express Lounge, and I was just walking towards my gate, and then I hear Ingrid go, hey, she's in the American Express Lounge line because she's not only that clear, she's also got the American Express Lounge.
Oh my God.
She's so fancy. So I go into the American Express Lounge with Ingrid, Angie K's and her husband and Heather. And we all chat. And it was wonderful. But they were together and Heather even laughed. She was like, Angie K and her husband are like, they're my escorts. Like, I can't, like, without them, I don't even know where to go. Yeah.
Were you in Salt Lake City for a connection flight? Or why were you there right after BravoCon?
I'm so sorry. I was leaving Vegas. They were going to Salt Lake City. We were going to DC. Sorry.
Oh, so you were in the Vegas airport.
So sorry. The Vegas airport. I should have.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, that makes sense.
And then we got to our gate and there's freaking Ashley. And we talked to her for 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Then when we landed, we realized Candace was on our plane the whole time. And she was way over on the other side because where the luggage was coming out, just by herself, sunglasses on the phone, had a person getting her luggage for her. And there was Ashley just standing there with us like, I got a brown bag. Have you seen it? Like, I mean, they were not speaking.
The difference between a diva and a regular person.
Right? Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, okay. That was a total sidebar. We did find out the ring was $58,000, not $60,000.
Yes.
Not
and
$60,000.
It meant something sentimental, which actually was a very, very emotional story. And, we didn't know that.
It was a good story. We didn't know that. She did, though, show us her other 15 diamond rings. And like, these I just got. They're not sentimental. God. The money. How do you have so much money? So
no.
Now we get the first Monica and Angie fight. This is where Monica is like, I got accused of stealing the ring. And that's stereotypical because like I have less money. And then she goes, why are you laughing to Angie? And Angie goes, whatever, big mouth. And then Monica calls her a bench warming bitch and says, and this doesn't involve you just like most of the season.
It was a good comeback. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
It was.
Monica can serve it up. And these are the moments where I'm like, look, that's what made her a Reality Von Teese account, I'm sure, excellent, is that she can have these clapbacks and these horrible, things to say to people.
But I mean,
say about people. Yes.
The person she reminds me of the most is Jen Shaw.
Oh my God, you're right.
That's who she reminds me of. So much.
I never would have thought that, but I can see similar personality characteristics.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then Andy asked Monica about her friendship with Jen. And she was like, I worked for her for free. Like, she just needed an assistant, so I worked for her for free. And somebody goes, you had 4 kids at home and you're just working for this girl for free? And when was this exactly? And she goes, I don't know. I mean, it was whatever. I think it was after season 1 was filmed, and she was my friend and she needed help. And Heather goes, so you didn't think like Kim Kardashian started out as an assistant, so I should do that too and that'll help me? And Monica goes, no. And Heather pulls out her phone and we hear a voice memo of Monica saying, Kim Kardashian was a fucking assistant and look at that bitch now. I can fully admit that the whole reason why I'm an assistant and putting up with that shit was a stepping stone as a learning experience.
You can't write. Like, it's so on the nose that you can't even write this stuff, That to me, we were talking about on my show that like, if you were to write a fake reality show and put that in there in the writer's room, you'd be like, no, let's take that out because it's too on the nose.
Too on the nose.
I mean, to have an audio clip at the ready, busting her so hard, and she didn't see it coming. She didn't know. I mean, Tanisha has sung like a canary to Heather.
Yep.
And is just put, I guess, Dropboxed her probably every single thing.
She's like, how's your Wi-Fi in Bermuda? I'll be sending you a large file. So then Monica tells Andy, like, no, I mean, I never thought I would be on the show. But I mean, of course, I'm not stupid. I would try to get on it. And then she goes, I just applied for the show like everybody else. It's like she's applying to work at Chipotle.
Right.
I just applied, and they all go, what do you mean applied? And Lisa's like, I brought the show to Utah, so I didn't apply. It's probably like that actor thing where like, you don't have to audition,
Yes, right. Just an offer. But it is true that Lisa, because I read Bad Mormon, and it is true. There was something going on with Lisa first.
Yeah.
And doing a reality show. And so she was really the one who put this together.
Yeah. Dogs are barking. I'm sorry. There's other adults here. Just take care of them.
Cute.
Yeah, they're cute, but they bark. So, so they go, what do you mean? Like, we didn't apply. And she goes, I mean, I just like sent an email to Bravo. Okay. Like, that's what you do. And and they go, what did your email say? She goes, I sent an email. Duh. You're so stupid. It said, hi, I'm Monica Fowler. Your show sucks. Your ratings are shit. It's going to get canceled because you don't have the right cast. And you could see them all going, it's just like the time Carol Radswell told Andy to shut up. Andy goes,
very similar. Yeah.
He goes, did it suck? And the ratings sucked? Did it suck? We see her email. Reaching out in regards to your casting call, would love more information on what needs to be done or how to move forward. You guys need a feisty, excommunicated, spelled wrong Latina on the show immediately. I'm your girl. So it's not exactly the same.
No, she is such a conniving liar. She's a liar face.
She's a liar face. So then they say, did you talk about the Secret Service, whatever? The whole thing about the Secret Service, I was like, okay, guys, does anybody know how this works? The Secret Service protects the president and people in office. The Secret Service is not making cases against people. That is the FBI. That's the FBI.
Who said Secret Service?
She did. She said, I have a friend in the Secret Service.
Oh my God.
Guess what? So do I. I wouldn't tell him stuff because he's protecting the vice president or something. Like, anyway, nobody's pointing that out because it's not a Potomac show. Potomac people, they would point that out. So Monica's like, no, and I never said that, but I did talk to federal investigators. I was So I guess if we got Bravo Docket or Emily D. Baker, and they look up people that testified publicly that they questioned, I guess Monica's name would be there as a witness. So she says.
Oh, okay.
So she says. She was a witness in the case.
But she didn't actually take the stand against.
Because there was no trial.
Right. Yeah. So maybe she was on a witness list of potential witnesses.
Right.
But I don't know if she ever gave any, who knows? I mean, I love the fact that like Monica's home just typing up anybody. She's emailing casting and she's emailing the feds. She's just like, I'm like, send, you know, like she's just getting into trouble. She's throwing a lot of logs in the fire. And I mean, on some crazy level, I kind of respect that. But only because from an entertainment standpoint, when I'm like on the same level of like, wow, this is a great Dateline documentary. That person is fucking crazy. You know, like, I mean, she's definitely inching up towards some weird stuff. And her mom does not help, you know? I mean,
So we touch on the situation with her banging her brother-in-law. And she wants us to know that was 10 years ago. Okay.
Which that was really new information. I had no idea.
We thought she had just been recently divorced because of this.
No, and she is recently divorced. But what came out today, she posted something. I don't know if you saw this, but it was, okay. So on the reunion, she had said this was 10 years ago. And so what she ended up happening is like she wore the scarlet letter, quote unquote. She was excommunicated from the church. She had to be rebaptized. So I think she stayed and tried to work on her marriage with her husband.
Okay.
Okay. And then they didn't get divorced until later. And then what came out today was Monica saying, I didn't say anything about this, but now I want to speak out about it because I want, you know, women and people to know that there's always, you know, help and you can always get out of these situations. That her ex-husband, there were charges of domestic abuse. And so that is essentially why they got divorced, because there was an incident that took place in front of their kids. So this came out today where she posted this. So this is a whole other thing, like,
because he lives in another state. I mean, people looked it up and it was like, he doesn't live near them. I think she said he doesn't really see them. And so maybe all of that plays into it. Maybe all that's why.
Okay.
It's another reason if she's a single mom of 4 kids that she doesn't need to be in her car driving around people's houses like she's a 6th grader.
She has 4?
She has four daughters.
I thought it was 3. Oh my God, 4?
Let's say 3.5 because we don't know.
Okay, but why is she? No, you're probably right, but like,
I mean, 3 or 4, you shouldn't be out in your car driving around like a 15-year-old girl looking for your boyfriend.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's real weird. So
it's like Danielle Staub vibes when she was like driving through the communities with her daughter in the back seat, like going down to like Franklin Lakes to drive by.
Yeah, just to drive by. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
So then we get the whole recap of the thing between Lisa and Whitney, and it's all about you. And this is when I was noticing how good she looked in that dress, and how Heather added to the drama by telling Lisa that Whitney said she's really helping to ground Lisa. And then we get the whole shut the fuck up. No, you shut the fuck up. Don't say that to me, blah, blah, blah. All this is so like secondary. We're just waiting for this 3rd episode. So
I know.
Andy asked Meredith, where do you and Lisa stand now? And they say they're in a better place. They're building a better friendship. And then as far as Heather and Whitney, they say they still have their trust issues, but they love each other and they're just kind of work on the friendship because these are like the core friendships we want to know. So then Andy asked Meredith about how she deflects when she's backed into a corner. Like all of a sudden she starts talking about a child with an illness, or like you don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And Meredith goes, here's the thing. You know, Whitney lost a friend. I was there for her. Lisa cried about her makeup, and I respected that.
Oh, yes.
But people don't respect my feelings about needing a bathtub. I mean, she really is like, I was there for her when she cried about her makeup. but she wouldn't give me a bathtub. That whole trip, I was like,
Mm.
can't somebody just say, I'll be out of
Mhm.
my room for 2 hours. You can go use my bathtub.
Yeah, I had a problem with none of the ladies giving her a bathtub too. I thought when she was like, whoever has a bathtub in their room, raise your hand. And like everyone raised their hand. I'm like, you all are a bunch of bitches. Like,
Because I would have
you
given her
know,
that. I don't care. I don't
yes,
need a
one of
bathtub.
them.
Yeah.
One of them. I mean, that was just rude. And when Monica went into her room and was like, I just want to calm you down. She had a fucking bathtub in her room. She could have given it to her. It's like, don't visit me unless you're going to give me your bathtub. Yeah, I was definitely pro Meredith on that bathtub thing.
Oh, so funny.
But yeah, Meredith kind of putting herself in a corner after saying to Andy, like when Andy's like, were you dangling like a devious rumor about Angie's husband in front of people so that they would run with it? And she's like, I didn't say they had problems in their marriage. I said that they had problems. And I'm like, this is so bad. Like, she reads her own words about what she said, and it makes her sound even worse. And Andy's like, yeah, that's kind of like dangling a rumor around. Yeah, you are threatening a rumor about her husband. And she was like, husband.
Did you like Andy made? Did you like how Andy did it back to her? He's like, this, and she just laughs like, oh, I was on so many pills. Isn't that hilarious?
Husbands, romance. Yeah, I love that.
Oh God,
But
it's so funny.
yeah, she completely dangled that rumor and wanted someone to pick up and run with it. So she didn't own shit. She
No,
didn't own shit, and it's time. Like that it's dirty work there, Meredith. So points taken.
all I could do is stare at that necklace between her boobs and thinking, is that the correct placement for that necklace? Should it be right above the cleave? But it's like below the cleave. Should it just be no necklace? Like I really couldn't quit staring at it. The placement of the necklace
I
was
didn't
odd.
know if that was, a portal to another universe. It definitely was screaming something. I don't know what, but I was a little scared of it.
It's Seth's portal to her boobies. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Never forget Seth getting that cake made of Whitney's
Oh,
boobs. It's
God.
just not weird at all.
Yeah, not weird.
Okay. So Angie says, I've learned my lesson to not trust Monica and what she says. And, also, I didn't like it, Lisa, when you called me weak and a liar. And, it takes strength to have composure. And Lisa goes into how Monica should have never said the thing about Sean being gay or the rumors about Sean being gay. And Lisa says, Angie was playing both sides. And Whitney goes, I stand by what I said about Lisa saying everything is about herself. Okay. And Lisa's like, I don't understand why you would say that about me. Like maybe our communication is different. Maybe it's just like East Coast versus West Coast. Like what? Lisa does make everything about her. I mean, she does.
Oh yeah, she does. But she also has empathy and sympathy for other people.
Yeah, she does.
When they played back her at that party and her giving Meredith the stuff that she needed to give her, and then going over to Whitney and being like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you all right?" Like, I was like, "Oh, she is all up in her grill checking on her." I really didn't see it. I feel like they didn't give us that cut. I don't know why, but at first I did the first cut from that actual episode. I was skewing more towards Whitney in the sense that it seemed like Lisa was sort of brushing her off and then went to her. So I don't know. I had more empathy for Whitney in that situation, but seeing it back, I was like, okay, Whitney is just projecting, and that's fine. Like she was grieving and she wanted and needed more, and that's that. But it seemed like Lisa didn't do anything wrong, is the way I see it now. I just think that Whitney,
now that we saw that, like
do.
Lisa put her stuff down and then went over and was like, "I'm checking on you. How are you doing?"
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense,
It makes more sense. Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
we don't always get what we need with these shows. So, Whitney says, to Lisa, she goes, after a confrontation, you just avoid situations and that creates distance because you won't talk. Like after a confrontation, like if I try to, you won't talk to me. And Whitney goes, you should just say, instead of avoiding me, and not speaking to me. You should say, I need space, and you'll talk when you're ready. And Lisa's like, wow, maybe Whitney is her guru.
Yeah, Whitney is leading her into a good place.
Yes. So then we go back to the rumors and the nastiness. And go there with a husband. And I did love it so much because Andy says that all the time now on his show. He'd be like, rumors and nastiness. He thinks it's so funny. And Meredith just nods and was like, it's so funny to be on drugs. So we see Monica say, okay, the rumor is that Sean likes to fuck other men. That's the rumor. And they're all like, what?
Jeez.
And then we find out Justin stopped wearing his ring because he's chunky.
Oh, yeah. That
was tough.
More polarizing than the rest.
That was tough.
She's like, I didn't want to say it, but I was surprised he gained the freshman 40 when he lost his job. So that's what happened. You stay at home with the kids and you eat all the food.
And you have to get your Gucci and Fendi shirts in a size XXL. Oh my God. All right. So Angie talks about the rumors about her husband. And she says, once people found out in town that they were a married couple, no one ever questioned it because they always have had these, hair studios and stuff together. And she says, no one ever questioned it until this rat came out of the sewer and brought it up. And Monica's like, evil laugh.
Yeah, real evil.
And Angie goes, why are you laughing? It's because you've never been called a rat before? And she goes, oh, no, I've been called a rat plenty of times. So you should come up with something better. I was like, oh, my God, Monica. Oh, my God. I got to say, I've been called a lot of things in my life. Not really. I haven't been called a lot of things. But I've been called some things. But I've never been called a rat.
Nor have I.
So it wouldn't just be like, oh, yeah, I've been called a rat. Come up with something
I
better.
know. You're right. That's a red flag right there. Yeah.
Yes. So Angie says to Monica that she was mean to her during filming. And everyone agrees. Like, Monica, you were awful to Angie. And Angie goes, you backstabbed me right in front of my face. I had to rewind that one. I was like,
Angie said that?
No, Angie said that to Monica. You backstabbed me right in front of my face.
Oh, I love that. I didn't hear that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I get like a little lost in Angie's sunglasses and her mouth. But the way I do it on my show is she sounds like Cher to me.
Oh.
So I would say, wait, what was the line again that you said? Oh, you backstabbed me in front. Babe, you backstabbed me in front of my face, babe. I'm not going to, this is my moment, babe. This is my husband and my moment. Okay, babe? All right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what she sounds like to me.
Ben and Ronnie do her like a robot. And the Smith sisters this morning were talking about, they were like, what we just realized is she always talks like she's doing a presentation on Shark Tank. They said that she's like,
yes.
The way Ben and Ronnie do it is like, okay, that is crazy because you backstabbed me in front of my face and I am a pillar of society. But she does do that babe thing quite a bit too. Mm-hmm. She's interesting. When I met her in person, and I'm sure you saw her at BravoCon too, she's tiny. Kyle Richards, 5 foot tall, tiny. She's a tiny little thing. Interesting. It's interesting too because the place where I get my haircut, where I've been going for 25 years, was owned by 2 couples, male-female couples. And the male-female they both cut hair, married couple. And then the other couple, the woman is an esthetician, and then the guy was just like the business guy. The married couple, man and woman that owned it, both have since passed away from randomly both died within 5 years of each other from cancer, which is terrible. They would only be in their 70s now. They were young when they died. And then now the couple that owns it now, shout out Sugar House, Erica and Nando. But I mean, so I know 2 couples that have owned salons where the husband is not gay. I don't think you just assume someone's gay because they cut hair.
Same, absolutely. And I've known plenty. Well, I know several places that are owned by men, and like you said, a couple.
Yeah.
And absolutely. I mean, it's such a uh, it's such a antiquated stereotype that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Backward way to create such gossip,
Yeah, yes, and to just be like, "Oh, so he cuts hair and they own these
Mhm,
successful salons. They are the pillar of society, and
mhm,
that would mean he's gay." Like, they've been
right.
married for a long time, they have this kid, and I did think it was interesting when they flashed back to him saying, "I'm not upset that people are saying that I'm gay. It's the cheating. I don't want my daughter to think I've cheated on my wife." Like, that's
Mhm.
I think that shows a lot about him, and when I met him, he was could have been nicer and had my merch in his pocket, so he's my best friend now.
That is
Um,
so cool. You gotta tell me what Ingrid said about him reflecting on the poker chip, because when she came up with that idea and she presented it, I remember being a part of that, because
yes,
we were talking about the after party and stuff, and she
yeah,
was like, "Okay, I have the best idea I have ever come up with in my whole life.
yeah, yeah,
Poker chip." Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so I'm glad she got her
Oh
roses.
my god. We had, Garcelle talked to me extensively about what a great idea it was.
Oh my God. Oh my
Extensively.
God.
More than many people, many people. So, yes, Ingrid has gotten all the props she needs, and it's about me and not about her, okay? I'm just
Yes.
kidding. So, now they talk about Angie blasting Meredith for being a hoe, which was kind of funny. I'd totally
Mm,
forgotten about that. And Angie goes, "I shouldn't have said that." And Meredith's like, "I don't know, like as women, how we're dragging each other down about my open marriage, whatever."
mm.
And then Meredith pulls out a list from her Birkin, pulls out a list of all the things Angie K said about her, which was pretty funny, which is
Hilarious.
hilarious.
It was, and it makes you realize, you're like, wow, Angie really did get in the mix of it.
She wasn't a bench warming bitch. She did get in.
No,
Yeah.
she wasn't. Yeah, she stepped to Meredith Marks.
And Angie goes, "Well, I think I activated you, so you're welcome."
Yeah.
Angie's laughs and says, "Look, the jab about having multiple personality disorders was just about all those voices, the rumors and the messages.
Yeah.
You can leave," in a British accent.
Yeah.
And then she says, "The trampoline with eyes is a compliment because she has nice, tight skin."
Okay, Angie. Okay, we know you're
Wow.
lying, but thank you for trying.
I was like, I took that trampoline with eyes to mean because she banged so many guys. People are bouncing on her. That's what I got. That's what I thought it meant.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell it meant, to be honest
Well,
with
I
you.
went sexual. So
Okay.
then we end with Angie talking and Monica talking over her. And Angie tells her to be quiet because she's talking and this is her moment. Which
Mhm.
I think, we know what she meant was like, Andy asked me a question. This is my moment to
Yeah.
explain it. And Monica
Yeah.
goes, "Oh my God, it's your moment. Finally, 4 seasons later." And Angie
Yeah.
goes, "I deserve to be here because I check all the boxes."
Yes.
And now I rewound this many times. So hopefully maybe you can fill in some blanks of what was said here. I
Same,
kept
yes.
rewinding it because I was trying to listen to this one, then this one,
Yep.
then this one.
Yep. Yep, me too.
Oh,
Okay,
so
okay. What'd you get?
Andy says
Mhm.
to Monica, "Well, she could say that about you too." But I cannot hear what Monica replied to Andy. It had a curse word because it was bleeped. I rewound it 5 times, but I could
Oh,
not
that
hear
part.
her
That was the
reply.
tricky part. Uh-huh.
Did you get it? What she said back to Andy?
No, I didn't get that. That was the part at the very beginning. Yeah, I didn't get that. Mm-mm.
Because
I know what you're talking
he
about.
says, "Well,
Dang.
she could say that about you too." And she says, "Something, fuck
Mhm.
something." So maybe if we watch it on Peacock without the bleeping, maybe we could hear it better.
Oh, without the bl good idea.
So then Angie continues to like, go. Angie goes off is like, "Oh yeah, go off and spend your kids' money on a fucking purse. You're irresponsible and you're sending a bad message to your daughters." And
Mhm.
then we see Heather try to say something about her business, like this hurt Angie's business or something. And Monica says, "Are you insane? Keep my kid's name out of your fucking mouth." And Angie says, "Fuck off, bitch. You talked about mine. Fuck off."
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
where we end it.
It's a good, little teaser for next week.
Yeah.
It's a good ending.
Andy did say today that we're not going to get anything about the reality Bontees until episode 3, which we know, and it's going to
Mhm.
be a supersized episode 3.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So, guys, we've got the
Yeah.
next 2 weeks of just stellar television.
Oh my
We are done
God.
with Ultimate Girls Trip, and that is sad,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't know if we're ever getting that other one with Carolyn
Oh, I
Manzo and Brandy and Camille and
know, and
Alex.
Brandy's like, "I just want it to air so I can go on with my life." But I just don't think like, it's interesting when she talks about it as if there's a chance that it would air, and I just don't think there's any chance at all.
I don't know. I mean, unless Carolyn Manzo is threatening to sue the pants off them, why they wouldn't? They air everything else. We
Well,
saw it,
I think
you know?
but she is. I mean, isn't that what's happening? She's got a lawsuit against them?
She has like a lawsuit against Brandy, maybe. Who could keep up with Brandy and her lawsuits? Who could keep up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we hope it'll come out, but we're not hopeful. But Peacock just keeps giving us some new content. There's a new show that I'm going to cover coming on Peacock, I think in February. It's
Mhm.
called Couple to Thruple, which is right up my alley, girl.
You're so funny. I love the shows. I was actually telling to Brett at lunch, because he knows you, obviously, my husband. And he's like, "What shows does she cover again?" I'm like, she covers like the TLC stuff,
Hmm.
essentially. Like that's her home base,
Hmm.
but totally moves into the Bravo sphere and then some other pop culture stuff too. So I was like, her pool is wide. But he's like, does she cover like the 300 or the 1,000 pound sisters? And I said, you know what? I don't think she does that one.
I don't. Keisha, my co-host for Love and Life After Lockup and Prison Brides, Keisha covers Thousand Pound Sisters on her podcast. But
Oh,
you can't
okay.
get anything that's really, really sad like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people cover My 1,000 Pound Life, or they cover My 1,000 Pound Sisters, or they cover the extreme weight loss one that I can't remember, where all the people go on and try to lose 400 pounds before they can get weight loss surgery. And
Mm.
it makes me so sad. It makes me so
Yeah, I
sad.
can't do it. I can't do it either.
I don't mind making fun of people wanting to marry people in prison or getting a fiance from Ukraine because you think she's hot. Like, I don't mind making fun of those people. But when it comes to things like, severe obesity and addiction and things like that, I can't go there. I can't go
In a
there
funny way.
in a
There's no way
funny
to go
way.
there in a funny way. Yeah. I don't and when people watch it, it's more like they're watching it not to laugh at them. It's more like they're just watching it because it's really super interesting and they've
Yes.
never seen someone live their life like this, right?
Right. Akeisha's also very into, has always been into like the Honey Boo Boo, Mama June, Hot to
Mhm.
Not, all that. She's very into the Mama June stuff too. So whenever Life
Mhm.
After Lockup or Love After Lockup goes on hiatus, they usually replace it with Mama June, and then Keisha's
Mhm.
beside herself with happiness. And I'm just like, I'm taking a break. I can't go into Mama June territory.
No, I can't. I
I
can't.
can't.
Oh god.
Oh my God. Well, everybody, you know about Amy Phillips and her talent, but tell everybody what you're covering over there on Drama Darling.
Oh, dear. Thank you very much. Drama Darling is a public wherever you listen to podcasts on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is over on patreon.com/Drama Darling.
Mm-hmm.
I cover everything on Bravo every single day. I cover what happened the night before
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. So all the Real Housewives, all the Below Decks, all the Vanderpump Rules, all the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip.
Mm-hmm.
I also do bonus episodes. I did Golden Bachelor. I did Bachelorette. I'll be covering The Bachelor again. We've also got coming up season 2 of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace.
Mm-hmm.
I shall be covering The Traitors.
Oh, yeah, I gotta watch
And
that. I gotta watch The Traitors.
yes, so that season is starting very soon, the second season, the American version. And yes, so I do go outside of the pop culture every once in a while to do some real bizarre things like a murder doc or like a Ruby Frankie or,
Mm. Are you covering
Gypsy.
that Ruby Frankie stuff?
I haven't covered it, but I've been following it
Yeah.
and I probably will next month in February. And so, yeah, there's a lot. We do a lot.
Yeah. Whew. Well, I do have to
Mhm.
watch The Traitors, and I will tell you that I invoked your name earlier today, or no, it was yesterday. I was talking to another Amy Phillips, not Amy
That's me.
Phillips. That's you. I was talking to Kate Casey. Literally,
Oh,
in
yes.
my mind, I was seeing your face and saying Kate Casey. So I talked to
Yeah.
Kate Casey, and we talked about Southern Charm, and we talked about Natalia
Oh, yeah.
Grace.
Mhm.
And I said, because we can't figure out on Natalia Grace of that dad, Michael, and what's actually wrong with him. And
Mm.
I said, you know what we need? We need the Bish therapist, who
Yes.
is a spinoff from Amy Phillips' show, to diagnose and tell us what is wrong with him.
Okay.
Can we put her on that? Because something's real wrong.
Yeah.
We're like, she was like Kate was like, it's like he's a dropout of the worst acting program ever to exist. I was like, yeah, it's always
Mhm.
like he's performing, so you see it in the back. Like, why is
Yeah.
he always on
Yes.
stage?
The histrionics are something else.
Yeah, I was like, what's his
I will
diagnosis? I need her to let us know what
I
she
would
thinks.
love I will mention that to her. And
Okay.
actually, so here's the thing. Your Bish Therapist is a podcast you can find anywhere. She's under my network.
Hmm.
And yeah, she started because I had her on my
Yeah.
show, and I encouraged her to start her own podcast and so on and so forth. So here we are. She has one season up of all the episodes she did. You can also follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
But so she's currently working on season 2. And I do believe that Natalia Grace will be one of those episodes. So
Okay,
I
good.
think that you will be getting what you are wishing for.
Okay. And you guys, if you followed your Bish therapist on Instagram, you saw she did a post regarding Kyle that kind of went viral about
Mm-hmm.
her thoughts on Kyle and, losing her friend to suicide, and
And
sort of
having survivor's guilt.
how that can sort of spur you to make big changes in your life and all
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, that was super interesting. I think Kyle even like reposted it.
She did.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I
It's
know.
always
Heavy stuff.
heavy
I know.
stuff. All right, everybody follow Amy at
Oh, I meet Amy
Meet Amy
Phillips
Phillips
on
and
Instagram.
Instagram. It
Thank
came to me. It
you.
came to me, even though I called you. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Meet Amy Phillips on Instagram. She has a lot of great stuff up there. She does great impressions. And please, as always, follow me at Pink Shade on Instagram. Still doing it, Amy. Still begging.
Yeah.
Still begging for
Oh,
followers.
got to.
Got
You
to.
got to.
You got to.
Got to, babe.
All right. I'll talk to you
Well,
later.
bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.